So I'm back in the shop, and Cody's EG is in here in pieces right now, and we're going to work on it here in a little bit. But just wanted to spend some time going through kind of what's on the car, what's done to it, how the car came to be, and stuff like that. So it's a 95 EG Civic hatch. It's a CX model, and the car has been kind of around for a long time. And it's been I K-swapped this car when it was bone stock in, I think it was 2009, something like that. The car had a leaky head gasket on the single cam, and Kyle, the previous owner, was into what we were doing and decided to K-swap it. So we put a K20 Z1 in the car, and he drove it all the way through college and drove it for a while, and one day got caught up in a rainstorm and sucked up water and ended up hydro locking the motor, blew the K20 Z1 up, and then we ended up putting a K24 block on the Z1 head. The head was still good, just shot one of the rods out the block, and kind of, you know, really no saving it. So fun fact, a lot of the K24 install guides and a lot of the guides that you see on our website, the Hybrid Racing website, a lot of the K24 stuff came from this car as we were putting the motor together. So it's been around for a long time, and obviously the car ran for a while, and you know, he didn't keep it much longer after that, and then I got sold off to friends and went from, you know, person to person and person. I mean, probably went through, I mean, at least 3 or 4 people that I know of, and then ultimately ended up in pieces. The body and stuff was in not great shape. The paint's quite faded. The previous owner before this plasti dipped a lot of the stuff on it and just didn't do a great job. So Cody ended up picking up this project with basically a refreshed engine. So it's got a built K24 long block, 13.5 to 1 pistons in here. I'm not sure the brand of the rods and stuff like that. You know, he knows all that stuff. It's got drag cartel cams. No, not drag cartel cams. It's got 4-piston cams. I'm sorry. It's got the 4-piston cams, in factory LSD. It's got the short final drive in it. So should be making some pretty good power. You know, all the valve train and stuff's done up. It's got a refreshed oil pump and oil pan baffle, and a big tube header with a big 3-inch flange on it, stuff like that. So this thing's really going to rock and roll once it gets done. And you know, this funny looking valve cover is just on here. He's got a nice fresh valve cover we'll put on it when it's up and running. Intake manifold was freshly shaved and cleaned up and powder coated. He rebuilt the transmission, so it's got new synchros and, you know, like I said, new bearings and stuff. It's got the new LSD that he put in it. None of the stuff's painted, the block and stuff. It's all just, I think it was tumbled. So the place down here that we can get big machine parts like this puts a big tumbler, and it gives it this really nice aluminum, raw aluminum finish, almost like OEM. So it's, so there's no paint or anything that's gonna chip or get nasty. So we still got some work to do on this thing. I think we will probably put a shifter and stuff in it. Cody, what are we going to do to this thing? You're going to put a shifter in it tonight?
Yeah, we're going to need some shifter and cables tonight.
Shifter, cables, maybe.
Throttle body.
Okay, throttle body. All right, cool. So we've got some work to do, and hopefully we can get this thing up and running soon, because this is going to be a pretty cool car. All right, we're doing some shifter cables. We're going to feed these through the firewall hole right here. Which one are you doing, Cody? So these are RSX cables, but they are quite a bit shorter, so they fit K-swap cars better. So these are kind of a test set. I mean, pretty much the same things we've been selling for years now. They're just quite a bit shorter. So this, you know, they're not going to run up under the car. They're not going to go over the subframe or anything. So we just make them a little shorter so they can come through this hole in the firewall right here and connect to the shifter cables. So we got to put the bracket and stuff on it, but we're just kind of test fitting right now. So Cody's going to get his shifter cable bracket, but this is our new heat sleeving that we're putting on these shifter cables now. And what I think we'll do is probably, we've got some metal bands, and so we'll band them together, and that'll cover up some of this hole. But we'll make a plate that goes there to cover this up. But yeah, this stuff is super nice. It's going to keep the majority of the heat off the center of the core of the cable, and replaces kind of the white stuff, the white kind of fiberglass heat sleeving that we've been using for a long time. So if you've got a new set of Hybrid Racing shifter cables, it's going to come with this black kind of woven heat wrap stuff. So it's really nice. But we'll get this connected, get it banded, locked in place, and then we'll put the shifter in. It's going to be a little tech tip right here. If you're ever installing these shifter cables, make sure that the clip and the angle is going the correct way. See, these are installed correctly. I see these things installed all the time with the bend facing forward, and that is incorrect. So if you're watching this and you have these cables, or perhaps doing something like this, make sure that the cable clips are pointed in the right way, and so that way they won't wiggle and rotate and then perhaps come off. So tap these things down with a mallet. Just like that. So those are locked in place now, and they are not going to come out. So we've got shifter cables installed on the transmission on the gear selector here. And that's another thing. On these cables, there's a bushing on the inside in here that has a flat raised up side that's on the bottom. And if you have our shifter cables, that always goes on top of the gear selector. So the logo and this bushing always go facing up. If you flip it around, it will actually lock the cable, and it will prevent it from moving, because it's got to have the height so that this bearing can move freely like this. So it can do this stuff, and it also can move up and down. And if this is flipped upside down, it's going to lock it, and then you're not going to be able to move the shifter. So it's going to lock it up like that. So just a little tech tip for you. And looks like these things are done. And we will move to the shifter cables, and then afterwards we'll come back and kind of get all this sleeving and stuff situated. So I'm going to open up the shifter, and of course these things are assembled and packaged like 20 feet away, and Got to use a screwdriver to open it still. Shop life. Cool stickers and a card. We'll use those later. Packaging. And the box. This is the shifter offset. Comes with every shifter. And in here we've got mounting hardware, stainless bolts and washers. And this is a medium, or no, this is the hard spring. So this is, we consider it the hard spring, but it's actually stiffer than the one, or softer, I'm sorry, than the one that's actually in the shifter. So if you feel like you want less resistance, you want less force or feedback, you can take the top of the shifter off and swap this thing out and use this. The new RSX shifter. This thing's a beast. Looks awesome. Feels really awesome. Super smooth. Everything is super smooth. And yeah, so we'll bolt this beauty in. Get this thing shifting right. Yep, so before we mount the shifter in, we got to get these cables kind of pointed in the right direction. And if the EG has this bracket that goes kind of along the bottom, so we had to pull that out and then kind of snake the cables through under it, and these will come out under the console. So Cody's kind of working on that. All right, so the cable that we were testing ended up being a little too short, so we just came back and put a longer cable core on it, and now it fits great. We're gonna band up.
See how this goes. I don't
Kinda-
know if we should do
Kind of clean this up right here.
should we do a long one around both of them?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really think you need to do both of them individually. I think just,
It's kind of like that.
yeah,
We'll go, you know, one like this.
yeah, sure.
Let me actually flip it around so I could tighten it up. Turn around like that.
And these zip ties do come with the shifter cables.
Yeah, you would actually, with the shifter cables, you would get the shorter ones for
Right.
the shorter zip ties for the
Right, because you
individuals.
can't do it individually.
Yeah, just to go around one.
Yep.
Since we have access to the longer ones, and we might just,
Yeah, we'll just band them together.
yeah, we'll try it out, see how that works.
I think that's gonna be fun.
Get these lined up straight.
Oh, it got it. There you go.
Oh. All right, cool. Well, got the shifter in. I think that's all we wanted to do for this video. Is there anything else we wanted to do?
That, accomplishes most of what we need to get done
Yep.
today.
Because
I'll get back on it again.
we'll do that, and that's nice. Some progress on the K24 EG, and hopefully one step closer to making this thing rip. This thing's going to make some serious power, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
Oh well, serious all motor power. You know, it's not going to blow the block down with some crazy boost or big turbo or anything, but definitely some funny smelling gas and big cams and a big tune. So
see if those T25s.
Yeah, I think that's it. Okay, cool. Well, that's going to wrap up this video. Don't forget, like the video if you like it. If not, don't like it. That's cool. Hit the subscribe button if you want to see more. And again, like I said, I promise, next video we'll talk about this thing. All right, thanks for watching.